Yeah, like I said, it's retaliation. Welcome back to a brand new video of the Talking with Your program, Talking with Experience. So the next bus is coming in half an hour. And I've already been here a good, 10 minutes now? So 40 minutes for a bus, okay? And again, it is after 9. But this is what they do, retaliation, okay? Also, by the way, so I've talked about my knee, but one thing I haven't talked about, and those terms send me subliminal message that that they poison me. Because I remember feeling very, very sick. My left arm, right, pain, my biceps started hurting, and then today my son was telling me, he says, Daddy, my left bicep just started hurting me, right? And I said to myself, I'm wondering if, because usually when he's been coming home, he's been just going straight to sleep, right? And for him to be complaining about the same thing, and particularly also like when I lay on my side, particularly my left side, if I'm laying on my bed and I'm laying on my side with my, on my elbow is down on the bed, right? I will get like chest pains. Okay. So when he started telling me about experiencing the same things, so I got to take him to the doctor. I was going to take him tomorrow, but he has a STEP, which is an after-school program, and so I may take him Saturday. Actually, I will take him Saturday. I may take him Saturday. I will take him Saturday to the doctor just so he can get checked out, get some blood work done. And I need to go back to the doctor because I still have to get my MRI on my shoulder, which I have enough. My shoulders feel better. My shoulders has actually felt better. It took a while, It took about a good couple months, but my shoulders feel better. And also, I recently got a new supplement, vitamin D, K2, calcium, zinc. I was watching this doctor, and again, I subscribe to. Let me tell you, I have quite a variety in terms of who I subscribe to on YouTube. So I subscribe to the nerve doctor because, again, of my back issues. All right. Look, not in service. Not in service, I'll tell you. So anyway, I subscribe to the nerve doctor. He pointed, hey, you pointed at me, GCE 5866. Yeah, I got that license plate. All right. It's going kind of fast there. Yeah, so I subscribe to the nerve doctor. I subscribe to a couple of these other doctors that are doing independent long-term research on the effect of the MMR vaccine, right? And also the long-term negative impact of those who had COVID-19. So I try to follow up on their studies, but also like the knee doc, like doctors that deal with the issues that I have, so I can always get advice, not get advice, but take recommendations that they may suggest, So like I said, I was talking about how, lately, not lately, but for the past year, my joints, right, my knee, my ankle, my elbows, my shoulder, my shoulder, my shoulder bones, what I'm saying, that is cracking. My neck cracks, and sometimes when my knee cracks, it's recently, it's painful because, my knee hurts, right, my right knee. And so I ordered that supplement. I'm gonna, I'll wait a month, see how it feels, see if it's any better. If my joints, stop cracking and stuff like that. And I had to order inositol, right, which is for, again, recommended by the nerve doctors, and that helped. I used to have tremendous. When I talk about pain in my feet, my nerve endings, particularly my big toe. Let me tell you, sometimes I'll wake up out of bed, and because it's like not, I wouldn't even say a throbbing. It's like, like how I get my ice pick headache. You get like this really sharp, excruciating pain. It's not a throbbing pain. It's not a pain that dissipates over time or anything like that. It is just a sharp pain that comes and goes. Sometimes it happens, every couple of seconds. There are times when I can't even put my head down on a pillow because it hurts. Okay, I can't even turn my head in a very, in a normal way. I have to turn my head very, very slowly. I couldn't even touch my head. Right? That's how painful it is. To where the point where I'm in tears. Right? So when I start taking the inositol, within a week, those pains in my toe stops. The nerve ending pain stop. Right? And then particularly also when my leg starts feeling numb, right? I used to lay down on my bed, and I had a foam mattress topper. Right, and I recently ordered a 6-inch one. They sent me the wrong one, but it has not. It only inflated up to 5 inches, not 6. So I don't know what's going on with that. But they sent me a replacement, but I had already opened up the the package from the first one, and it couldn't fit back into the box. So I just said, I said forget it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whatever. So I send back the new one, and the other one it's okay. It's okay. It's not. It's the other one I liked better because it was much more. It wasn't as firm as this one, but it's not as firm as a spring mattress. Okay, so which is a lot better. I cannot sleep on a spring mattress. Okay, I had a spring mattress. I bought a spring mattress, and it was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't even. Let me tell you, every morning I was in pain, like serious pain. And when I bought that foam mattress, the first night on it, I got up, I was never in pain. When I sit down, I could sit down without, now of course I put brace myself when I'm sitting down, but on the spring mattress, I couldn't even sit down on the spring mattress. Like literally, even when bracing myself, I could not sit down on that mattress for too long. But with the foam mattress, it's so much better. Even though this one is a little firmer, it's still okay. It's still fine. I still, when I wake up in the morning, my back is not hurting. Which is good, right? It's just during the day when I'm out doing whatever, my back, So yeah, so I take that, and it also has vitamin D in it too, vitamin D3. Okay, so that was like another bus, not in service. All right, but yeah, take that. What else? Garlic. I took garlic because like I said, they sent me all these supplements about being poisoned. And garlic is you got to take you get in a more concentrated dose, but garlic is you know what? You guys go look. All right, I don't want to say anything because I don't want YouTube to flag my channel to say I'm giving medical advice. You know what I'm saying? But garlic has antibacterial properties, put like that, right? So yeah, so I take those every day. Let me tell you, I spend more money on supplements as opposed to taking pharmaceutical drugs, but the supplements are much safer. Okay. With pharmaceutical drugs, they always negative adverse health effects. And most of the stuff I take is multivitamins. I don't take anything that's that is like a synthetic compound, anything like that. I don't take those things, right? And I also take nitric oxide, right, which you get from beet, right? And it's important because it helps keeps the blood, fresh oxygen in the blood, to the circulation of the blood in your body. When you breathe, that fresh oxygen helps help the blood to take in that fresh oxygen. Okay. And so, I take it for that. You know what I'm saying? So you're not as tired. What else I take? I take a mushroom gummy for clarity, focus, right? Even though my focus is, I started reading this book and I have not gone back to it yet. So, because again, once they start talking to me, I can't, not only does my mind is not on reading, but when I do read, I don't remember anything. Like, I read a chapter out of the book already, and yeah, do I remember anything out of it? Nope. You know what I'm saying? Like, the next day I might remember some things, but it's, again, if I read a book, I'll probably only retain about 10% of it, right? And that's over the period of time in which I'll read the book. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is that when I read something, I take certain quotes from it, or I take a certain, I take a paragraph, right, and I share it. You know what I'm saying? And I keep sharing these things, and that's how. So when I go back and read it, in my posts, then I can always remember certain things, right? So I've learned to adapt because of what has been done to me and how it affects me. Like I said, and again, you have to study what it is that they do, and so you have to find ways, and adapt in certain ways that will help you. I was watching a video today. What is it? Hardly Initiated. All right, so it's a channel. They talk about God, this and that, and they had a debate on Pan-Africanism versus Christianity. And you hear these. They had these two pastors on there. And let me tell you, these black pastors, they're full of shit. I'm gonna tell you, they're full of shit. Particularly those who like to talk about, they got their degree from seminary school, or whatever. But I'm like, who owns the seminary school you go to? Huh? And they quoted Dr. Martin Luther King, and I'm like, really? And here's the thing: they know about Dr. Martin Luther King. They know Dr. Martin Luther King, in one of his theses, he did a thesis on how ancient religion helped form the Christian belief system, right? And so they know that, but they know the majority of their members in the church, their congregation, is not going to go look at the information. So I just started sharing them shit. Let me tell you something. I shared so much information on there. And they talk about facts and this and that. I said, your religion isn't based on facts. Christianity isn't based on facts. There is no historical Jesus. And they talk about Josephus. I'm like, you should know better than to talk about Josephus, because most religious scholars, serious religious scholars, will tell you that Josephus mentioning Jesus, that's a forgery. That is a forgery. They look at Josephus' writing style, and they look at the amount of where they inserted Jesus' name, and they'll tell you that that's not Josephus. That's not his style. He doesn't write like that. So even that, and then they mention about Titus, without you, right? But one thing they keep saying is Jesus. I'm like, the word Jesus, the letter J, wasn't invented until 1524. So what are you talking about Jesus in ancient time? There was no Jerusalem. That wasn't the name. There was no J. So instead of them finding out the name, okay, and again, I keep saying, and I even put down, I say, you go and read the first edition of the King James Bible, 1611 Bible, King James, the very first edition. Okay, you read it and then come back and tell me you see the name Jesus in there. You see John in there. You know what I'm saying? You see Jacob, you see, and again, when you look at and there's a way, okay, Yeshua, but the translation of Yeshua into English is Joshua, not Jesus. Okay? And then you go to the Bible where they like talk about Isaiah prophesizing Jesus. Isaiah was not prophesizing Jesus. Go and read the whole passage. Go and read the whole passage, not just the part where he talks about a virgin. And again, they changed the virgin. You see, it was a young maiden, and they changed it to a virgin. Okay? And the name of the child would be Emmanuel, right? And he would grow up to know good for bad and drink milk and honey and all this shit. Jesus didn't grow up that way. They don't even have Jesus' early years of growing up as a child in the Gospels. But Isaiah was talking to King Ahab. That's who he was talking to. He was telling that he will get a sign from God. Right? But they had to make this connection that was never there, and they've drilled it into the minds and into the indoctrinated minds, these pastors. So they keep, and I'm like, go and read the entire passage, go and read the whole thing. Okay, go and read the whole thing, and you'll see. But they don't want to do that. That's why in Christianity they just read certain process of scriptures, and then they stop and they move on to another one, because they've been taught to go here and go there and go there and go there and go there, but they don't read the entire thing. Okay, they don't read the entire thing, because it's not because they have to make connections, and they'll say, oh, you got to go to this way to make the connection. No, what you're doing is, again, what you've been taught, right, by people who have an agenda. You know what I'm saying? So it is hilarious when I hear these pastors speak, because like I said, man, and particularly those, like I said, who like to talk about they got a degree from seminary, this and that, and I'm like, yeah, who owns the seminary school you go to? Huh? Who controls these black pastors, these mega pastors? Who controls them? Go and do the research as who is behind them. Okay, and you'll see these are white racist evangelicals, white male universities. White male created religious universities and religious institutions. Okay? And when they deviate from that, look at Pastor Fred Price. They did not want him to talk about racism. And he started to do a series on racism. Okay? So again, Pastor Fred Price, his eyes was being opened, but he was still holding on to Jesus. And I think they knew that he was going to speak the truth about Jesus, so he got COVID and he died. Okay? Yeah. All right? These people are very protective of their religion, because it is a multi-billion-dollar business. It is a multi-billion-dollar business, okay? And it's based on lies. It's based on lies. All right? So one of the pastors, he says that Constantine didn't create Christianity. Christianity was in Africa before Constantine. Okay, but what kind of Christianity? Huh? What kind of Christianity? Right? What did early Christians believe prior to the Nicene Council? They start talking about the Edict of Milan. I like the Edict of Milan don't mean anything, because it doesn't talk about Jesus Christ. And again, if you go and the early Christians, they were worshippers of Serapis. Right? Serapis, who was the Greco-Egyptian god, right, based off of Ptolemy I. He wanted to be a god. So they created Serapis. So you look at the image of Serapis, it's the same image as Jesus Christ. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So again, these people don't even understand. Right? Well, black people are so in love with white Jesus and white Christianity. All right? And then he's like, well, the earliest church people some of them were black. Well, of course. Just like, okay, let me ask you a question. You got black people in the Church of Scientology. Right? The Church of Scientology, whose founder, L. Ron Hubbard, was a racist, who the South African government hired to create a psychological program to control the minds of the Africans. But black people are Scientologists. Right? Look at Mormonism. Mormonism, their racist founder. But black people are Mormons. Okay? So, I mean, when they start saying shit like that, I'm like, listen, yeah, because back then in ancient times, yeah, there were a lot of black people. Matter of fact, the vast majority of black people in Egypt, the people in Egypt were black. Okay? Even after the conquest of the Greeks and the Romans. All right? I mean, that's why it's important to know history. And, they had these two other guys on there that, one of them said he's not a Pan-Africanist, but we all should be Pan-Africanists. Right? But you go and read Chancellor Williams, The Destruction of Black Civilization. And these people will talk about black scholars. Oh, he's talking about John Henry Clark because he didn't have a degree. But John Henry Clark was regarded as one of the most brilliant historical scholars of the 20th century. Right? Black or white, just like Dr. Joseph Ben Jacobin. And there's videos that you can go on YouTube, you can look and you can hear them speak. You can hear their what you call it, their presentations, right? I mean, come on. So again, these blacks, these black Christians, they're on their high horse. They're on their high horse, sitting in their churches and this and that, on their high horse, while they ignore the reality of what's happening to black people in the world today. Okay? They're egotistical, right? They're egotistical, right? And because, again, Christianity is used, they use Christianity to enrich themselves, all right? They like to be well known in the community, right, of preaching the gospel, but they ain't doing nothing else. Look at how much money the black church is taking every single year in America. And ask yourself, with all that money they're taking in, where is it going? Where is it going? Is it going to benefit the people in the community? See, the Jews, the European Jews, they're religious, but they take their money to do what? To build their community, to support their people, right? I'm talking about the religious Jews now, the Orthodox Jews, right? They use that money to build their community. These black pastors, they don't do that. They use it to enrich themselves, right? That's what they do. And while they're engaging in the same shit they talk about you shouldn't do, they're doing the exact same thing they tell you shouldn't do. Why is that? Because they've adopted the mindset of the white supremacist. The white supremacist is living in their mind. All black Christians, in their mind, there's a white supremacist living in there, whether they want to admit it or not. Okay? And all you got to do is look at their actions to see what it is they're talking about. So, like I said, I wish I could debate some of these people, man, but I would have to. Let me tell you something. I am too passionate, and I would be cursing them, right? Because they hold their degree as if it's gives them the authority to, And again, this is in theology, right? It's not in history. It's not in anthropology. It's not in science. It's in fucking religion. Okay? This guy quoting and putting footnotes and this and that. Okay. You can put all the footnotes you want. But you can't talk about Dr. John Henry Clark. He's been in the field. You can't talk about Dr. Joseph Ben Jacobin. He's been in the field. So he ain't got to put no damn footnotes. Okay? And all the footnotes that you put in there, those people who wrote those books, a lot of them don't even have footnotes in the books because they've gone and read the documents. They're giving their own interpretation. And what you are doing is reinterpreting somebody else to say. See, me, I don't got to reinterpret what Dr. Clark said, Dr. Ben Jacobin said, or Dr. Charles Prince said. I quote them because I know they've done the work. And I know that they're intellectually honest. I know that they're historically honest. Okay? That's what I know. I don't believe that. I know that. But I know the history of Europeans and the lies that they've created and co-opt history. Okay? And like I said, I gravitate to any European historian and scholar that the vast majority of European historian and scholar try to destroy. Because I know that they're telling the truth. And how I know is because when they talk about ancient Africa and ancient civilization, they say black people, black Africans started those civilizations. Okay? And you see how they hide information. what's his name? It's a book I have, the African origin of Roman civilization. You also have what's his name? Mutz Getzer or something. I forgot his name. But you try to find his books, you can't find it. This is a German historian and archaeologist. Okay? I don't think he's alive. But it is the control and co-op of historical information, of his historians who's been in the field, who've done the archaeological work, who dig, right? You know what I'm saying? They want to quote about the Council of Nicaea, but they're not giving their congregation those information. I'm doing that. I'm going on to their platform while they talk about these things. The people are like, who? I'm putting that. They're not putting the shit in the links so that those people who are watching their videos, so that they can go and do the research themselves. No, because they want to be the one to seem smart, to look smart, to sound smart. Okay? And that is the mindset of religious people, particularly your pastors. And they don't know shit. They don't know shit. They can quote scriptures up their ass, but they don't know shit. Okay? I don't hear them talking about Flint, Michigan. I don't hear them talking about the police brutality and do something about it. I don't see that they're pooling their money, right, to form civil rights organization. They're not doing that. Right? They're not doing that. All right? But yet they'll sue you because you won the lottery, and they think because you're a member of the church that they should get half of your money. Right? And that should tell you where their minds is at. Okay? It is a sickness that has been conditioned into their minds. Just like these wealthy people, it is the sickness of greed. They'll tell you that money is the root of all evil. But them motherfuckers worship money more than God. I'm sorry for cursing, but hey, it is what it is. It's the truth. They worship money more than God. And again, it's not to say that you don't need money. Money is important, right? Because the society that we live in tells you that, yeah, you need money. You want to buy something, you need money. Okay? But these people worship money more than God. They live a life of luxury and extravagancy that, again, when Jesus said that a wealthy man, a rich man has less of a chance of getting into heaven than a thread through the eye of a needle, right? They don't read that part to you, do they? No, they change the scriptures to fit their narrative. They say, well, God don't want you to be really? God don't want you to be poor? That's why Jesus said that a wealthy man have less of a chance of getting to the heaven than a thread to a needle. He said wealthy. He didn't say, a well-off man or what have you. He said a wealthy man, because he understand. And again, using the Bible, okay? Because again, in the Bible, they understand how money, those with money and power, particularly in that time and era, have the same mindset that they do today. The wealthy, the elites, those who rule. Okay? And what they do to the people. That's what he's talking about. It's the mindset that they have. But then he says, but the poor shall inherit the earth. No, the poor ain't inheriting shit. The rich people inherit the earth. You see, what it is, again, is the double. You see, our ancestors wrote certain things in that Bible that we can decipher. Esoteric knowledge, hidden knowledge. To let you know that this book, this Jesus should not be taken literally as a human being. And this Jesus is not your savior. So when I say, when I read the Bible and it talks about the Bible, Jesus says, I did not come to bring peace. I came to bring bring war. I come to divide people from one another. Right? I come to divide a household. If it's a household of 5, I come to divide 3 against 2. Right? Mother against father. Right? Sister against brother. Father against son. Mother against daughter. Jesus said that. But it's funny how they leave that part out, right? You know what I'm saying? And then they'll be like, God is good all the time. God is good all the time. Oh, God ain't good all the time. God is evil too. Jesus is evil too. Right? You got to recognize that this is nature, human nature. We have the propensity to do good, the propensity to do evil. Right? Chaos within nature. The storms, the hurricanes, the volcanoes. Right? Then you have moments of peace, and where everything is beautiful and peaceful. Right? Chaos becomes evil. Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, these people are just let me tell you. And then you go and learn about Zoroastrianism. Right? This is before Christianity. This is where you have the concept of the devil. Right? Early Christians didn't believe in the devil or evil, but you wouldn't know that. Your pastors wouldn't know that. They're giving them certain things to say, right, to combat the truth. That is how manipulative those that want to keep on profiting off of Christianity, religion, will do. So when they give them they say, oh, the Council of Nicaea and this and that and such, but they don't read the entire thing. And there was many more councils, right? There's the Council of Chalcedon. There's the Council of Constantinople. Go and read them. It's on the damn Catholic website, the Pulpit website, the official website of the Catholic Church. Okay, and that's the shit that I post so that people can read it. Read it yourself, right? But they don't want you to read it yourself. They want to tell you because they want to give you their interpretation. Okay, that's what they want to do. Anyhow, bus is here. Oh, 3 red cars. There's one that just passed. 1 and 2. Look, 3. Right? Oh yeah. They're patterns. Spot their patterns. All right. Anyhow, talk to you guys in the next video. I will turn off the recorder when I get on the bus, just in case they've been very sneaky lately. Sneaky bastards.
Doors closed.